So, welcome back to my channel. So, my name is Rahmat Wibowo, CEO of Infaloka. So, in this video, we are going to talk about Sriwijaya and the Will of D by Rahmat Wibowo. So, what if the ancient kingdom lives not only in Palembang soil, but in Eiichiro Oda's imagination? The kingdom that never was. So, one of the provocative theses of Ridwan Saidi is about this one. In 2019, Jakarta-based cultural figure Ridwan Saidi ignited a firestorm across the Indonesian social media when he declared bluntly and without evident regret that Sriwijaya was not a kingdom at all, but a pirate fleet based on Coromandel Coast. Not only that, he called it fictive or fictional. For a civilization that once commanded the Strait of Malacca, ruled the sea lanes from Sumatra to South China Sea, and whose Buddhist scholar influenced the entire Sanskrit-speaking world, this was fighting words. The controversy documented by the TIC News in February 2020 was not merely academic. Palembang city officials expressed a formal disappointment. South Sumatran cultural scholars pushed back the archaeological counter-evidence. So, and yet, what if we suspend the historical consensus for a moment, not to agree with Saidi, but to ask more interesting question? What if Sriwijaya was never a conventional kingdom? What if Sriwijaya was something more extraordinary than a kingdom with a palace and a king on a throne? What if it was a maritime confederation, a network of sea peoples, traders, monks, and yes, privateers, bound not by land but by control of the strait and the trade routes? Okay, this one. This is the reframing the borderless maritime empire, the state built on water in the conceptual key that unlocks an extraordinary parallel with a 25-year-old Japanese manga series that has sold over 530 million copies worldwide. The Grand Line and the Strait of Malacca. Look this. How Eiichiro Oda's world ocean mirrors the ancient maritime geography of Southeast Asia. Eiichiro Oda began realizing One Piece in 1997. By his own admission in an interview, he was fascinated by the age exploration, particularly real-world piracy and maritime empires of Caribbean and Atlantic. But as the series deepened across decades, an unmistakably Southeast Asian texture began to emerge in his world building. The oppressive world government controlling the sea lands, ancient civilizations erased from official history, the figure of Joy Boy behind the message encoded in indestructible stone tablet. Consider this. Sriwijaya, geography on the Malacca Strait, One Piece world, geography on the Grand Line. Power structure, passing ships and sand military, world governments extract tribute taxes from member nation. Erase history, Sriwijaya left almost no above ground ruins. The 4th century, 800 years of history deliberately erased by the world government. The inscriptions, the old Malay on stone at the Kedukan Bukit. Poneglyph, ancient stone tablets inscribed in a lost language, the ancient language, readable only by the D Bloodline and Nico Robin. The sea people, orang laut, nomadic maritime tribes who were Sriwijaya naval force, Fishman Island, or merfolk. None of these parallels proves deliberate inspiration. But Srivijaya's territory was not defined by land borders but by Mandala, a fluid sphere of influence radiating from the capital. Joy Boy and Jayabaya, the prophecy-making king who sleeps beneath history waiting to return. Of all parallels between Indonesian history and One Piece mythology, One Piece Joy Boy and Java's prophetic king, Jayabaya. This is the Joy Boy and this is Jayabaya. In Javanese, pronounced Jayabaya, collapse naturally towards Joyoboyo or even Joyoboyo, which is near Joy Boy. And he is historically known as a patron of Javanese literature. The great Kakawin Bharatayuddha was proposed during his reign. But his enduring fame comes from Ramalan Jayabaya, the prophecy of Jayabaya. The prophecy described an age of darkness, Kali Yuga, followed by the arrival of righteous king who will restore justice, Ratu Adil, the just ruler. Jayabaya himself is said to be sleeping beneath the Mount Lawu or beneath the sea, waiting to reborn at the moment of Indonesia's greatest need. King Jayabaya, Joy Boy, and Monkey D. Luffy. And then the phonetic bridge, Jayabaya in modern Japanese is often romanized as Joyoboyo, similar to Joy Boy, whether this is coincidence or unconscious influence through Pan-Asian culture currents reaching Oda. Okay, there is a deeper solution. Java would be ruled by foreigners. So Jayabaya's prophecy explicitly described that Java would be ruled by foreigners when ships made of iron would sail without wind, when iron birds would darken the sky, all fulfilled. The Javanese traditionalists say that by Dutch colonialism and modernity, the prophecies encoded resistance in poetic form that could survive censorship because they spoke in metaphor. Also, the same function with Joy Boy's phonic lips. The story remembers what kings comments describes to forget. Sriwijaya as the ancient kingdom. Now, consider Sriwijaya as the ancient kingdom. About Sriwijaya at its height in 500 and 683 CE, the Colourite, the Great Flow, Singasari attacked Malayu, and then Majapahit destroyed Palembang, George Sidis rediscovers Sriwijaya. There's a lot of things. Nusantara echoes across One Piece, like Wano equals Japan. Skypiea Arc, it's like the Sumatran ancient Buddhist stupas. The Devil Fruit. And Indonesia also have like Pusaka and Aji, the inner power. Haki with Hak, the right or legitimate power, the straw hat, and yeah, also the will of the Indonesia and Japan mutual understanding through story. So why this conversation master beyond the fan theory? Indonesia and Japan shared modern geography and economic partnership. They share a particular historical experience. One Piece as its course, a story about restoring world that was stolen. It is about 20 kings who handed over their kingdom, best weapons, ancient weapons, Pluton, Poseidon, and Uranus, to found a peace built on control, not freedom. It's an absolute agreement made in good faith, Joey Boss promised. The shared wound and shared dreams. Both Indonesia and Japan know what it means for an ancient civilization to be compressed into someone else's narrative of progress. Indonesia was discovered by colonialism. Japan was opened by gunboat diplomacy. One Piece imagines a world where the people who were compressed refuse to stay compressed, where the will of thee cannot be extinguished no matter how many times the world government tries. So, this is the will of the sea people, the will of Indonesia and Japan partnership. So, with this kind of thing, we can know each other better with our similarities. That's my hope about this article and this video, and soon will be one of my business about the heritage-based tourism. Thank you.